Good afternoon, Carolina from Sade Adventures here. So happy to help with your summer trip to Peru. It's one of my favorite places to go over the summer months. And so I have some plenty of ideas for you. Let's go through them together and this way we can tweak down and see what fits your family. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to start with just a map of Peru, just so we can get acquainted with the country itself. So Lima is here, which is the international airport, which is where you will fly into. And most people will include Machu Picchu. And in order to get to Machu Picchu, we fly into Cusco and then travel to Machu Picchu from there, which is not on this map, but it's just a train ride away. And I will explain it on the itinerary. So that is what most people do. But of course, Peru has so much to offer. So there is, of course, the Amazon jungle. But I know we've done Amazon jungle in Ecuador recently. So we won't cover Puerto Maldonado or Iquitos, which is the two entry points to the jungle in Peru. But if you are interested, if you love jungle as much as I do, we can certainly look into the cruises and the lodges that we have available here. And then Peru also has a massive coastline. And so there's a lot to explore on the coastline. So just outside of Lima, if we start heading south, this is going down a desert landscape with the ocean on one side and the desert on the other. You will hit Pisco. Pisco is where we make pisco, the liquor that makes pisco sours, which is famous for Peru. They also have wineries here, so there's a lot of a foodie kind of scene here. And if you head south even more, you go to Ica and Nazca, and these are pre-Inca sites with mummies and Nazca lines where you take a little flight over. There is Huacachina Oasis in the desert. So this is a desert landscape. You go sand dune buggies and all kinds of fun adventures in the desert. Just to give you an idea, from Lima to Nazca is a good 6 to 7 hour drive. So even though it looks close, it's not that close. So we usually do this area in 2 to 3 days and not some kind of day excursion. You might see as you do research, day tour to Huacachina or day tour to Nazca. We can do Nazca in a day tour, and that only means getting in a plane and flying over and then coming back to Lima, but not doing anything by land. So be aware of the distances because you will sometimes see this area sold as a day tour, but it is very long and not recommended. North of Lima, these are areas with a lot of hiking, with a lot of mountains. Usually my backpackers go here, my extreme sports fanatics go here. So there's a lot of that wonderful activities here. There's beaches, but I don't recommend Peru for beaches. So I would put that in my back pocket for something else. And then North Peru has a lot of sites, again, pre-Inca sites that are, there's less infrastructure here. So probably we have 1 or 2 people a year go to this area. So just to give you an idea. Now, another very popular area is Lake Titicaca, which is the highest lake in the world where people live on it. And Arequipa, which is the White City, which is the entry to Coca Canyon. There's condors here and amazing views. Again, a culture that's different from the Cusco area. So for our itinerary today, I included Lima, the Sacred Valley outside of Cusco, Machu Picchu, then Cusco itself, and Lake Titicaca. So let's go through it together so you can understand how it would work, and we can definitely tweak it in any way you'd like. So July 24th, you will arrive to Lima. This is the international airport. I'm not sure what flight you're taking, but most flights arrive in the evening. And so we will pick you up just as on all of our tours and take you to your hotel in a private car. And I chose Iberostar Selection Miraflores for you. This hotel is not a boutique style hotel per se, but it is so well located. It has all the amenities. It has a rooftop pool, and I know you're going to be here with the girls. So this is something that's really lovely to enjoy. A lot of families stay here and just feel like they can unwind. You have a view of the ocean. You have your walking distance to Larcomar, which is the shopping area. So there's a lot to see and do here. And it's a great location. You can do shopping and you can do wonderful restaurants all within the Miraflores area. So it's a good location. If you want a boutique hotel, there are a few. One that pops into my head is Hotel B. This is in the Barranco region. It's a very like swanky area filled with galleries, and they actually made a mansion that's filled with art into a boutique hotel. But it is a step up in price, probably double of what Iberostar is. And sometimes with families, it doesn't work well because it's way more romantic. Like the bathroom is open into the bedroom. So I think let's start here and see where we go with it. If you come across a hotel and even during your research, I know you're doing some research. Let me know your thoughts and we can talk about it some more. But for now, we have 2 nights in Lima at the Iberostar. So for your second day after breakfast, we will show you the best of Lima because you're going to be with your daughter still here. So I want you to see all those wonderful sights, go to the museum, have lunch in the courtyard of the museum, and then in the afternoon do a walking foodie tour, which is so much fun. I just took my daughter on it myself. We go to the markets, we taste fruit, we make milkshakes, we go to the ruins, which is Huacapuclana ruins, which were discovered right in the middle of Miraflores, and we have snacks there, sunset tours. The adults will taste the pisco sour. So lots of fun here in Lima to be had. Now, on July 26th, I have you flying into Cusco already. I know that your daughter is not starting the program until July 27th. However, most people don't spend a lot of time in Lima. It's a really big modern city. So, unless you want to go surfing or do some adventures just outside of the city, maybe the sand dunes, something nearby, we can add that third night in Lima. But I think it would be better to take the girls into the Sacred Valley of the area outside of Cusco. So we'll take you to the airport, fly 1 hour to Cusco. We pick you up from Cusco and take you to Sacred Valley because it's 2,000 feet lower and it will help everybody acclimate, but it will also introduce you to some of the cultural aspects of Sacred Valley, which is like a countryside filled with Inca sites, ruins, indigenous communities, villages, llamas, alpacas, all the works. And it gives you a beautiful glimpse into Peru before you separate with your daughters. So we will visit some of those sites along the way. We will tweak it around. Maybe we'll go to Chinchero, which is a very colorful women co-op kind of community where the women are weavers and they've really pulled their whole village out of poverty with their art. We go to Salineras, which is a beautiful site where people still work the salts just like the Incas did. We have a farm to table lunch arranged for you, and we stay in a beautiful lodge called Icatera Hacienda. Inca Terra is a 5-star hotel, so it has all the amenities and all the works, but it is boutique, it is charming, it is tiny, and it is surrounded by mountains. So I really want you to consider this hotel. I have plenty of hotels in the Sacred Valley. If we need to bring it down a notch, if we need to save some money, we can definitely do that. But Inca Terra is a great place to welcome you to the Inca Triangle of Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, and Cusco region. So you, the adults, will stay here for 2 nights. And the next morning after breakfast, we will first drive and drop the girls off wherever their program begins in Cusco or Sacred Valley, wherever the program begins. Say goodbye to them and you will continue touring. So you will visit Miss Minai. This is a community that we sponsor. It's a really remote indigenous place, beautiful views. And you will get to see life in the Andes. Maybe enjoy Pachamanca ceremony, which is a way of cooking lunch under the ground. And then visit Ollantaytambo, which is a massive complex of ruins that belong to the Incas. So now we're starting to enter the Inca culture to see the sites. Again, have a nice lunch. Overnight at that Inca Terra Hotel again before we go to Machu Picchu. So July 28th, we take you to the train station. We take the Vista Dome train, which is a glass dome ceiling train to the ruins. It's about a 2-hour ride. Our private guide will take you right to the ruins. You can tour, you can enjoy the citadel, have lunch, and spend the night in the village here in Machu Picchu. So in the village, it's quite small. The ruins are on top of the mountain. There's one hotel on top of the mountain called the Sanctuary Lodge. It is a Belmont property, but it's actually closing down for the summer because they're doing renovations. And everything else is in the village, the market, all the hotels, all the restaurants. So I chose Casa del Sol. It's a four-star boutique hotel right on the river, really nice rooms, everything you need, but not uber luxury. So you're saving here because you're going to be at the ruins all day. You're going to have dinner and you're going to probably want to rest because the next morning we're leaving again. So you're not going to spend that much time in the hotel. So you want to consider that when choosing hotels here because there are hotels here that are $1,000 a night. But if you're not spending more than one night, then you're really not going to get to enjoy it. And the reason we're waking up the next morning and leaving is because we're going to go for sunrise at Machu Picchu. And I put this little map here for you. Again, it's just kind of an educational process of what are we going to do and how are we going to do it because there's 101 ways to enjoy Peru. And so the next morning at sunrise at 7 a.m. or at 10 a.m., we don't have to do sunrise, we can just do early morning. We'll go back to the ruins and we'll have an opportunity to do a little hike. So you have some options. There's Huayna Picchu, which is quite famous. It's you need permits for it. We would arrange it all. But if you don't want to do a steep climb, maybe you're a little bit nervous about doing a hike that high, then we can do Uchuy Picchu, which is half the size, still beautiful views. Or we can do another site tour of the Citadel, which is split into 6 different routes, so you would not be repeating anything. Or I have 2 other options like Machu Picchu Mountain or the gates to the Inca Trail. So there's lots of other things we can explore. So let me know what your thoughts are about doing a hike or not going back to Machu Picchu. Why do we go twice? One, to do another hike. Two, because the lighting is amazing in the morning, and also there's way less people in the morning. So it's a different experience. This is at the mouth of the Amazon, and although July is dry season, at the mouth of the Amazon, it could rain anytime. So if it rains on your first visit, you have the second opportunity for photography, so highly suggested. Afterwards, we get on a train and we do a dinner train to Cusco and check into our hotel. So in Cusco, there is a lot of hotels. A lot of them are old mansions or old convents that are redone into hotels. So I try to choose something that has the amenities, has the comforts, has the great location, but still has a boutique style feel. It's smaller and it's a 4-star kind of base so that we're not overspending on properties here. So I chose the Casa Andina Premium. I actually took my parents to Peru a few years ago and we stayed here. And so I included the suites so that you have the bigger, more modern rooms with all the comforts, but still in a 4-star property. I think it fits what we need perfect. But again, so many amazing hotels in Cusco. We have plenty to choose from. So after that first day, you just go to sleep, you arrive in the evening. And the second day, we're going to see Cusco. And Cusco has a lot to see. There's the proper old town and there's ruins outside. So that first day, we're just going to focus on the city, do a walking tour, get to know the temples, the main square, the cathedral, go to the market, have some free time, and then our guide will take you on a cocktail tour, which is really fun because now you're fully acclimated and you can enjoy some maybe wine, pisco sours, things like that. And it's like a local bartender that will take you to 3 of his favorite restaurants, do some snacks, do some drinks. You can even learn how to make a pisco sour and enjoy. And that way you can have dinner on your own after in the evening because there's so many places to choose from. And of course, I have a list for you as well. And that following day, we split the tour. So now you're going to the ruins of Cusco, having amazing views. Sometimes we do like a champagne toast at the top of the ruins and finish off with dinner at Map Cafe, which is inside the Museum of Archaeology of Cusco. Is amazing. It closes at night and it opens up for us. And we have dinner set up inside the museum and access to the exhibition as well. So you're in the hotel, in the museum when no one else is. It's quite the exciting experience. What else can you do in Cusco? Cusco is a hub and a kind of a starting point to a lot of activities. So if you want to do some hiking, we can skip this day. We can combine it with our city tour. And on July 31st, we can do Rainbow Mountain, which is a colorful, very popular place to visit. It's quite strenuous. I have done all the hikes around Cusco, so please ask me about any of them. Umante Lake is another one. Gorgeous sights, beautiful views, but again, quite strenuous and really high altitude. So not for everyone. So there's lots to see and do. If you love cooking, we can do a really fun rooftop cooking class that we organize here, and plenty more. So we have 3 nights in Cusco. We can really take advantage of them. And then on August 1st, which is a Friday, we're going to go to the train station and take a beautiful train to Lake Titicaca. So the train itself is between 8 and 9 hours. It's a full day experience, and sometimes people are shocked at that. But inside, there are gorgeous, beautiful seats. There's a nice lunch served. There's an area of the train that's completely open, so you can sit on a leather couch, have a pisco sour, and watch the world go by as you climb altitude. It stops one time. You can get off the train. There's like a market there in a little village. What else? There's live music. There's a bar car. So you're not sitting in a chair like in an airport, like in an airplane for the whole 9 hours. You can definitely move around. It is a gorgeous train, highly recommended. One of my favorite memories from Peru, and I have been to Peru 7 times. And once we get to the lake, which why do we go to the lake? We go to the lake to visit the island. So you want to be on the shore. There is not a lot of hotels here. There's one really fancy hotel, Titilaca, which we love. It has that boutique style, but it is quite expensive. So let me know if you want to treat yourself and to upgrade here. But I've used the GHL quite a lot. I mean, for the last 19 years, we've been using this hotel. It used to be the Libertador, and now it's called GHL Hotel Lago Titicaca. And it is on the shore. It has its own ports, dock, so it's really easy to do navigational tours. So on that first day you arrive, and on the second day we go out on the lake and we visit Uros and Taquile. So Uros is the floating islands. It's an amazing community. You can learn all about life on Lake Titicaca. They're constantly working the reeds. And Taquile is a proper island, but what's special about there is that the chores of the people are flipped. So the men are weavers and the women are farmers. Fascinating, another fascinating community. We'll have lunch out on the lake and come back to your hotel. And then on the last day, we fly to Lima for our last night in Lima. But before we do, there are plenty of sites between Lake Titicaca and the airport, which is 1 hour drive. And we will visit the necropolis and some other sites along the way before we fly to Lima. Once you arrive to Lima, a lot of people will connect with the flight home, but we have that extra night. So I included a driver so he can take you to the famous Lima fountains. This is dancing fountains, there's music. You will see a lot of people from Lima come here before dinner. It's like a perfect date night. And then our driver will take you to your restaurant of your choice. Lima has some of the top restaurants in the world. 3 of them are here, El Central and a few others. And so we can make reservations for you or we can include them for you. So you let me know what you would like to do in Lima. And then August 4th, we'll take you to the airport and fly home. So that is what the itinerary looks like. There are plenty of choices we can still do. Please reach out and let me know your thoughts and how we can tweak it to make this trip your own. I am sending this itinerary to you in a PDF so you can review it on your time. And it has pricing and all the details. And also let me know, do you need that internal flight to Cusco? Is it set in stone on the 27th? Can we move it to the 26th like I recommended? We can take it from here. I'm so excited to help again. Thank you so much and happy travels.